Hello everyone. So today we'll discuss about overview of ERP, and as a part of today's agenda, so we'll discuss what is ERP and significance for business, modules and its functionalities, benefits of ERP, and in the coming videos we will be discussing about the career opportunities as a ERP consultant and what all ERPs are there. So how to choose career as a ERP consultant. So ERP is it's the full form of ERP is enterprise resource planning. So ERP is nothing but a software, so which is used by the multiple companies and most commonly used in the manufacturing, production, service-based industries. So let's say if you start any business, you will have a number of departments to take care, like accounts payable team, general ledger team, accounts receivable, customers, vendors, payments, HR team. Lot of departments will be there, right? So in order to maintain that, in order to record the transactions, it is always suggested to have a centralized system rather than using multiple softwares. Let's say earlier we used notebooks and Excel sheets. In case if your organization is a bit small, you can use them. If it is let's say if you take example of a retail store, it is a very small retail store. They can maintain a physical books where they can write the vendor details, customer details, if there are any balances. But if your business is too big, let's say you got some 10, 15 branches and you got multiple departments, multiple locations, so you need to have a centralized software where you can see the details. If you're a owner of a company, it is always suggested to have an ERP where you can access to all the information related to your business in a single click. So how is that possible? Is with the help of ERP. So it is going to integrate, as we were discussing, right? So multiple business processes will be there in any of the business. If you're into manufacture, let's say example of if you're into any chocolate manufacturing company, a number of departments will be there. You need to procure the raw materials. There will be manufacture, the production team will be there, dispatching team will be there, track sales and marketing team will be there. So a lot of teams are there, so they have their own activities to on as per their role, right? So all these transactions, all their activities has to be monitored, or transactions has to be recorded. At the end of the day, any business that you're going to do is to ascertain the profit and loss. So in order to have a uh, you know uh, a centralized system where you can see the details, what is happening with the accounts receivable, what is happening with the accounts payable, vendors payments, customer payments, orders related, and where the stock inventory related. So if you want to do any sales, if you want to run any marketing campaign or any ads, right, you need to have enough stock. So you need to have real time updates on the stock. If you take an example of Amazon, Flipkart, so they run the market, they run ads, right? And as soon as they receive an orders, sometimes you might be seeing the product is out of stock. How is that happening from the back end? Is in a system, in a software, they're going to update the inventory details. So a number of departments you can visualize. If you are starting any business, you can see a number of such departments, right? So it is always necessary to have a proper ERP to ensure that your business is running as per your requirement. So as we were discussing the important or the significance for any business, if you the most important is to streamline. You should know what all departments are doing and what is their roles and responsibilities if you want to pull the reports. All right, so you need to have a proper ERP, and this is most important to have a reports. And the next is the visibility. So if you do not have the real time visibility, how can you plan for the marketing? And if you want to run any business, obviously you'll do some digital marketing nowadays, right? So you need to have a proper stock. So without having any proper stock, you cannot just go on a, let's say, even repeatedly as soon as you started doing the marketing, you will receive the sales orders from the customers. You need to have a real time update. Let's say you got some 100 quantity, maximum orders that you can take is only 100, not more than that. So immediately you should have an access to your system, or it should show you a real time reports stating that as soon as the orders are placed. All right, so now it is necessary that you need to plan your inventory before you do any sales or anything. So that is something we'll call it as a real time data visibility. And the standardization, it's a see, as there are certain roles and responsibilities which are already defined for each and every department. If you let's say example retail storage, so in the retail store, the a number of employees will be there. The warehouse team will be there, so you are going to define the roles and responsibilities, what all he has to do. A cashier is going to accept the payments from the customers. His role is defined, so access to be given to cashier is only to accept the payments or to generate an invoice. So these all setups that we have to do it in specific module wise on a number of such departments will be there, right? All such departments ERP is going to consolidate. So any transaction that you're doing, any transaction that you're posting, and it's accounts receivable or accounts payable, any fixed assets, because we are going to discuss what all modules will be there in the coming slides or in the coming videos. But all these are necessary for an ERP to define the ERP before you choose any ERP, right? So all these things you should keep in mind. There are a lot of ERPs which doesn't support the size of your business, right? So you will have to ensure that the list of the activities that you're going to do, and the ERP is going to support all such activities or any such features, functionalities that you're looking. And maybe today you have got 10 branches, maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line you're going to your business is going to grow, right? So definitely you need to have an ERP which can accommodate the requirements of your future as well. So consistently you should keep on doing the research, or you should consistently should keep on doing the changes. So these are most of the modules, like finance department, as we were discussing, who take care of general ledger transactions. They prepare the financial reports, right? So like BNL, balance sheet. And purchasing department is it, manufacturing department, MRP, inventory management, CRM, sales and marketing, and e-commerce. Nowadays most of the companies, as soon as they start the business, immediately they are going to look for the e-commerce, that is for the online orders, either website or mobile application, that you might have seen that one. So ERP should have a capability of integrating the e-commerce as well. And service related industries will be there, like any Wi-Fi providing companies will be there, so they do not hold any stock or something. Apart from that, like routers or any other wiring related, they mostly focus on the service related industries, right? Training centers will be there, a lot of institutes will be there, so the most of them they focus on the service related. And costing related, if it is a proper manufacturing production companies, they need to have a proper costing system as well. And the project management, if you're into real estate constructions, you can see they have a number of projects, right? That will call it as a project management accounting. And HR, so irrespective of the business that you're going to do, if it is HR department is mandatory, right? HR, I mean, to ensure that the employees details are well maintained and their salaries are credited on time and their leave balances are correctly updated. So within HR also there are a number of activities. And apart from all these rest of the modules, nowadays the most commonly used, or it is essential, it is not used, it becomes an essential for any business, that's analytics and reporting. Analytics and reporting is, in simple words, on a real time updates you need to have it. So let's say you got 100 branches in your business. In a single click you should be able to see what is the stock that is available for the laptop. HP laptop, if you search in your, let's say if it is integrated with your e-commerce website and your mobile application, as soon as you search the laptop and model number in all entire 100 warehouses, right? How much stock is available on single click you should be able to see that. That is something which happens with the help of this analytics and reporting from back. So these are few transactions, or that most commonly used transactions in any of the modules. That is finance modules, which mostly focuses on handling the financial transactions. If you're doing any payments to vendors, receiving any amount from the customers, any payments, any transactions that are happening within across these modules, right? Indirectly, they are connected with the finance module itself. And the most important is to generate the reports. For any business, the main aim is to make the profit. How will you evaluate whether you're making the profit or not? That is with the help of the finance module itself. E- In ERP, we need to remember too, the terminology that we are going to use it for the rest of the other modules apart from this finance module is the subledger modules. Ledger, general ledger, and the subledger module. Subledger modules are like HR module, inventory management, production planning, right? Accounts payable, accounts receivable. All these modules will call it as subledgers. So we are going to any ERP that integrates the subledger module with the general ledger module will give you the standard reports. And it is this is how the ERP works, right? It is going to connect all the subledger modules with the general ledger module. So here you can see in HR also, as we were discussing, HR department ensures that employee details are recorded properly, and if there are any learning and development, they're upskilling related, a lot of such activities that they're going to do, right? Uh, so all these details has to be updated in a separate HR module. And if you want to maintain, if you're doing an e-commerce business, or if it is a retail, the physical retail store as well. So even in that also, you need to maintain that inventory. You need to know the order, how much stock is available, and how many orders that you're receiving, and you need to plan your stock as well. Let's say if you're running out of the stock, you need to place an orders with the vendors. All such activities that are going to happen within the inventory management module. And if you're into production itself, like if you're manufacturing or if you're producing some goods, you need to have the resources that are available, right? That allocation of the resources. Let's say 100 quantity, 100 kg, that you have a raw material to produce any chocolates or any biscuits. So this allocation, how do you want to use this one? And you will have to decide, you will have to divide the time frame. Let's say 5 days for preparation of raw materials, and I mean to procure the raw materials, and 5 days to start mixing up them on 5 days to packing or any 3 days to sell. So there are a lot of activities that are going to involve within production also, right? And multiple departments are also going to be part of this one. At the end of the day, it starts with the procuring the raw materials and selling the product in the market. So between these, a lot of activities will be there. Uh, you will start preparing, mixing ingredients, any other flavors, and you'll have to quarantine them. You'll have to keep it in a you'll have to store it for 2-3 days, and once they are dried up, they need to pack. So all these activities will go through there are a lot of steps that are involved in any of the production or manufacturing, right? Each and every activity has to be recorded. So ERP should support the production module as well. So these are few commonly used modules at a business point of. And apart from this, we also have a supply chain management module, right? Procurement and sourcing and master planning will be there. Subscription billing will be there. Fixed assets will be there. Let's say if you're into travel business, your business is into travels. 100 vehicles you have got 100 if you're a tour operator or any fleet management company, right? So 100 like Redbus. I mean, Redbus, they don't own any vehicles, but like, if you're into any private travels, you got 20-30 buses will be there. You need to maintain the details of each and every in the bus. The serial number is the condition of the bus, and if there are any, what is the value of the bus, and how many what is the repair cost that you're incurring for to maintain all these buses, right? The maintenance cost, all this is also one of the module that will call it as a transport and logistics. So ERP should support all such modules as well. So what is the advantage to have such ERP, right? So the most important is to get share the data to help to ensure that the customer is not he's being shared the right information. At the end of the day, any business that works with the success of the customer only, right? I mean, to ensure that your customer is not facing any problems. So in order to, let's say customer has placed an order for 100 quantity laptop, and you do not have a proper system, and you just accepted the order, later you will tell the customer we do not have the stock. So definitely that is going to create a problem that will give a negative impression to the customer. So that is the reason it is always necessary that the data that you're going to have in your system, it should provide you the real time updates. How does that is possible is that is with the help of ERP. And this is as we were discussing, right? Real time insights. As soon as you start placing or you receiving an orders from the customers, immediately if you're running out of the stock, you should stop receiving an orders. So for that, it is always necessary to have a real time assets, real time the information or updates. And definitely this is going to help you to make a to plan your inventory, or to have to take a decisions. So all these are possible. Excuse me. So when you have a proper ERP system, also a number of vendors will be there in the market. So you will have to ensure that the terms and conditions as per your requirement and as per the customer requirement, right? You need to ensure that the vendor details are also maintained. Even though the same HP laptop you can directly procure from the HP manufacturer, or else many resellers will be there. If you purchase the product from the resellers, whether they are going to give you the same warranty or guarantee or any of the service related warranties, and the quality, if it is a damage, all such the historical performance also you have to evaluate. So how is that possible? Again, that for that you need to have a vendor management module. You need to ensure there's a checklist that you need to follow before you shortlist any vendor, right? All such real time business scenarios that you need to if you want to use all such real time business scenarios to in your daily course of business, right? The ERP should support all such features as well. And apart from that, nowadays most of the transactions or the activities that we are doing on daily basis, they are being automated. Earlier it used to be, I mean, it's evolving, I mean, the ERP or the business is evolving rapidly, and according to that the ERP should support. So earlier we never used to have a online payments, right? Like GPay, phone pay. Now GPay, phone pay, or any other UPI payments has become very common. So your business should be ready to accept those payments as well. And apart from that, invoice processing. And let's say some thousands of invoices that you receive, that you'll have to dispatch it to the customers on daily basis. Some hundreds, 200 orders you are receiving from the customers. As soon as they place an order and the payment is done, immediately invoice has to be sent to the customer. Or once the goods are dispatched to the customer, invoice you will have to send it to the customer. So all these the regular activities can be automated. So that is how you can if you say manually, if you need to generate, if you need to type the invoice, the details, definitely it is going to take time. So of course nowadays a lot of softwares are there, yeah. So even the ERP also should support all such the regular business activities. And if you have a access to all the modules, right, so definitely you can as we were discussing, the most important is the decision making. So once you have the proper the information. Definitely you can plan. See, the sales and marketing, they do not know what is the inventory that is available, right? So whatever the updates that are being shared to the sales and marketing by the sales and marketing team, by the inventory team. So because it is inventory management team, they need to ensure whether the stock is available or not. So sales and marketing team, they will be focusing only on their campaigns, ads related. So if you the cross functional any I mean when I say cross functional teams, multiple teams will be there, like GL team, financial, if there are is, let's say if there is any problem with the payment, accepting the receiving the payments from the customers. So sales and marketing team should have an access to that information. They should be updated on timely basis. So or many such details. Let's say if your company is planning to start a new business, like apart from the so far you're selling only laptops and mobiles. Now you started selling any other accessories as well, right? So sales and marketing team, if you have the proper information that is being cascaded to the sales and marketing team, they will start promoting those as well. So all these activities are possible only with the help of when there is an integration with all the modules. So ERP, as we were discussing, ERP is nothing but a software, right? So there are a number of such ERPs in the market. Most popular ERPs are Microsoft Dynamics 365 and SAP and Oracle. Apart from these three, there are small, mid-size and small ERPs are there. So we will be discussing more details about the importance of Microsoft Dynamics 365 ERP and what all modules will be there, and as a career opportunities as a ERP consultant. So irrespective of the education background, when I say irrespective, like BCom, BBM, BSc, MBA, engineering, most apart from this, any other science or medical related, most of the engineering or any other commerce background students, or if if you want to change your if you want to switch your career from non-IT or to IT jobs, right? We will be discussing more the details about all these queries in the coming videos. So I would request you to watch the next videos as well. Yeah, thank you so much. Today we will discuss about the introduction to Dynamics 365. In general, we'll call it as a Dynamics 365. The full name is Microsoft Dynamics 365. It is from the Microsoft. Like we had other multiple ERPs, right? So this is one of the popular ERP which is in the market. And coming to the specifications and the difference, how does it makes from the other ERPs? The Microsoft Dynamics 365 is completely cloud based. So when I say completely cloud based, earlier most of the softwares used to will have to install the software, that will call it as a on-premise software, where in case if you want to use the ERP, it has to be installed in your server, and there should be a dedicated server. It has to be installed in your the laptops or the system machines, right? But here the Microsoft Dynamics has developed completely cloud based, where it is similar to Facebook, like Gmail. We can access with the password and Gmail, right? So similarly, even here also, Microsoft Dynamics 365 can be easily accessible with the user login details. And it is not necessary that you have to install the Dynamics 365 software, right? And it also supports a lot of latest features. It comes with the AI features, and as usual, like the most commonly used functionalities or the modules like finance and operations, supply chain management, HR, customer. Now we'll call it as a customer engagement. Earlier it used to be CRM, but CRM or CE, in both the ways it is going to help you out, right? Apart from that, it also had added a lot of latest features with the help of Power Platform. So most of the companies, Microsoft Power, they have developed a Power Platform as well. So this Power Platform has again multiple such modules like Power BI, which is used for reporting purpose, and Power Automate workflow, that is mostly used for workflows. Not only workflows, there are most of the activities which requires any low coding or no coding related activities, right? So that is possible with the help of Power BI and Power Platform applications. So Microsoft Dynamics can be easily integrated with all such. They have created an ecosystem, right? Like Power Automate, Power Flow, and the virtual chatbots you can create. And apart from that, you can integrate with any other tools as well, right? Any other third-party ISVs, in case if the company is using. Even that can be easily integrated with Microsoft Dynamics 365. It is not necessary that you should stop using other the third party tools or ISVs. So it can be easily integrated with the help of Power Platform. So that is one of the most advantage of using the Microsoft Dynamics 365, and it also supports the e-commerce applications where you can develop. You can the, if, if you are mostly focused on the e-commerce related or any supply chain management related, it supports. These are the module specific that have the commerce, customer engagement, finance and operations, human resources, sales and marketing, supply chain management, manufacturing, production. All such functionalities Microsoft, I mean Dynamics 365 supports. And this is for the large enterprises. Apart from that large enterprises, if there are any other small or mid-sized enterprises or organizations, this is something called as a business central. Even business central is also Microsoft Dynamics product, but D365 is for the large enterprises. And commerce, that is mostly focused on any retail stores. In case if customer is into retail stores like Reliance, many such big bazaar, they have got into retail stores, right? So there is a separate ERP or it's a separate license that has to be procured. That is for them. That will call it as a D365 commerce. And customer engagement, that mostly focuses on customer relationship analytics, voice analytics is it, and any other sales and marketing, right? That again, it also connects with the field service. So like as we were discussing, most there are few service based companies, right? Whose activities involves into field related activities like Wi-Fi services, installations, and this is all such activities which are mostly focused on the customer engagement related, or the as a part of customer engagement. Again, there are a lot of subtopics are there that will, in case if you want to get into Dynamics 365, these are the fields which are available, right? These are the modules that you should be aware, like commerce, customer engagement, finance and operations, HR is a HR, sales and marketing, supply chain management. These are part of finance and operations itself. The tool, it will be totally different for the commerce, customer engagement, business central. But within finance and operations, HR, sales and marketing, supply chain management, general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed assets, taxation, all these modules will be covered within finance and operations. But licenses has to be procured separately in case if you wanted to use manufacturing or production, supply chain management as well. So that is a flexibility that Microsoft offers. It is not necessary that you should purchase licenses for the entire Microsoft Dynamics 365. So as per your requirement, in case if you are using only Dynamics 365 finance and operations, then you can procure or you can purchase the license only for the module specific. But the tool, the access will be given for the entire tool. So, but the licenses can be purchased as per your requirement. And it also supports a lot of, yeah, as we were discussing, these are a few it's the tools that are that comes under Microsoft Dynamics 365, the sales, marketing, customer service. So below this customer service, customer voice, field service, customer insights, right? All this comes under the customer engagement. So in the last slide we were discussing, right? Or CRM. Earlier it used to be CRM, now it is customer engagement. So right from sales, marketing, customer service till customer insights, all this will comes under the customer engagement module. And right on the left side, here you can see from finance. So business central, that is again for the mid-size organizations, that is completely different. And within Dynamics 365, right? So finance, HR, supply chain management. So these modules are covered. And commerce, that is again, we need to procure a separate licenses for commerce. And there is one more that is called as a project operations. In case of the organization that is mostly focused on the project based, right? So they can use this project operations mostly, like in case if they're into IT development, like software development related companies will be there, right? So they mostly use this project operations. And apart from that, there are multiple such modules like fraud protection, and recently they started this field service as well. So all these products will come under the Microsoft Dynamics 365. And being as we were discussing, the most important thing that is about the career opportunities, right? So in case if you're from any commerce background or engineering background, so either you can choose either finance and operations, See, it is not necessary that you should come from the commerce background, but yeah, basics, having the understanding of the basic accounting knowledge, that is most important, being a finance consultant. Apart from that, so within finance and operations, so it starts with the core accounting process, right? So that it is necessary that you should have a basics of accounts. Even that also we are going to cover. So once you start, learning the basics of accounts, you should be able to understand how does the finance works, and how is it connected with how is the financial impact that happens. There are a lot of activities that happens in any of the business, right? At the end of the day, it is connected with the P&L and the balance sheet. So all those dots that we are going to discuss in the coming slides or in the coming videos once we start, Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance and operations. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and we will continue in the next videos about the Dynamics 365 finance and operations. The career opportunities, Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance and operations. In the last a couple of videos, we have discussed about uh, the modules and what is ERP, what is Microsoft Dynamics 365. So here we will get into more details. How is it growing, and how can you upskill yourself? If you're working in a non-IT job, or if you're working as an end user like accounts receivable analyst or accounts payable, invoice validation, GL user, to upskill your career from end user to as a consultant, what all skills that you should acquire, and how is it growth opportunities being an ERP consultant, especially in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So all those topics we will try to cover here. So as a part of today's agenda, we will be discussing about um, the industry, the expectations from the industry, and what all changes that are happening across the industry, right? So there are a lot of trends that you can see. Earlier, it used to be on premises. Now most of the companies are switching from on premises to cloud versions, and even the work environments are also changing, right? And there are a lot of artificial intelligence, machine learning tools are integrated in Dynamics 365 in ERP. And how is it going to impact your career? What all skills that you should acquire to ensure that you are staying updated with the latest technologies, right? On the As a functional consultant, what is your role? As a technical consultant, what is your role? So we'll try to see all such insights about the career and the job opportunities, so that you can plan your way as plan your path as well, and which role does suits you. And as if you observe here, most of the companies, after COVID, right? So most of the companies, they started, even though now the most of the offices are working, most of the companies have started working from the offices, but still there is a demand for work from home. So in general, in general we'll call it as a work from home. But if you look at the corporate terminology, wherever whatever you see in the companies, right, it's called hybrid experiences. Basically they wanted to connect, or they wanted to engage the employees, or they want the employees to work from anywhere. At the end of the day, they want the employees should be able to deliver the required activities, or the tasks that were given to the employees, right? So that is something which is actually um, has become a necessity for most of the companies to choose hybrid model. So if it is a on-premise software, let's say if company wanted to install the software, then definitely employees should be around in the office environment or any specific location. But those days are completely gone. Now it is completely cloud versions, where users will be given a login details, like we used to log in the Gmail and any other social media accounts, right? Similarly, even here also, an ERP can be logged in with the help of user credentials anywhere. Again, it comes with an authenticator app. You just need to download an authenticator app, and it will prompt you to enter the code. And once you enter the code, you can use it from anywhere. And you can constantly be in touch with your business if you're working for a project, right? Let's say if any company wants to implement Dynamics 365 as a ERP, and they can hire a consultant. Basically we call it as a consultants who work for the ERP, right, to help in setting up the configurations, all this and all. So they can hire a consultants from anywhere globally. That means they can hire a consultants who can work remotely, who can deliver their requirement remotely as well. So there is a continuously the demand for the consultants are is quite increasing from last few days or few months, we can say, because of this uh, adopting because most of the companies, they are trying to change their they're trying to migrate from on-premises software to the cloud versions. And along with that, and last few years, if you observe, there is a tremendous changes in the technology as well, where artificial intelligence as completely it's trying to automate a lot of the regular activities, right? So daily routine activities, or the most of the tedious tasks that are being handled like complex activities, right? With the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning, so most of these activities are being automated. And that impact is there in the ERP as well. Like we can take an example of invoice processing, and processing the sales orders. Apart from any, like when it comes to the regular act, if you just instruct the system to do this one with all the trial and errors, right? So system will try to understand, and accordingly it will show you the results as well. So, and even Microsoft has developed a lot of such AI tools which are integrated with the Microsoft Dynamics 365 to ensure that, the name is like we have a chat GPT, right? So Microsoft has developed something called as a Copilot. That is their homegrown application. Even that is completely works like an chat GPT. So the Microsoft has developed this Copilot, and they have integrated this Copilot in each and every Microsoft product. And even Microsoft Dynamics 365 also, they have integrated this Copilot. So with the help of Copilot, you can start utilizing, you can start giving instruction to the system with the help of that will call it as a prompts. So if you go prompt to the in the Copilot, so it will, let's say if you want to create a purchase order, if you give a prompt, as of now we do not have an option for end-to-end operations, but going forward, with the help of prompts, you'll be able to do your regular activities as well, right? That are also with the help of the data that you're going to that is there in your ERP, right? So with the help, it will give you the suggestions based, it will start analyzing the data in case if you want to do any changes, or if there are any best practices to be done. It will give you the triggers or warnings in case if you're running short of the stock or any inventory, like getting an alerts. And you can plan your sales. All those activities can be, or they're trying to integrate. So the demand, obviously, when organization is also growing, they wanted to ensure that they are the ERP whatever they are using, that should meet the current the customer requirement as well, right? So obviously the growth for D365 F&O consultants is increasing, because being a consultant, what all activities that are there that will help the organization to improve their daily activities. And accordingly, what all even there might be a number of tools, right? So you need to understand how what all tools that are useful for the organization. It is not necessary that every tool or any function, each and every functionality is it will be useful for the organization, right? So accordingly, based on the expertise that you carry out, it is going to help the organization to plan their usage of the ERP. And if you look at, as we were discussing, the trend is completely, the industrial trend in terms of technology is rapidly changing. This in terms of processes, and they need a consultant who, and most of the they hire a consultant who can help the organization monitoring, analyzing their implementations, right from the starting. Because if company wanted to implement Dynamics 365 right from the beginning, they also need an in-house consultant as well. So you might get a chance to work for as an in-house consultant, as well as if you're working for a partner, you can help you're going to assist the customer in implementing the Dynamics 365 implementations. So in both the roles, like you need to have a thorough understanding on the modules. And it is always suggested, right? So as and when the technology keeps on growing, you should always equip yourself with the latest features that Microsoft, see, if you on daily basis, Microsoft keep releasing lot of latest features. you should have a thorough understanding how it is going to help your customer. So in order to have a thorough understanding, it is always suggested to keep on exploring, and if you keep on reading the blogs that Microsoft keep releasing and testing them in our trial environment. So this is where the the role as a functional consultant, especially when it comes to the finance and operations, right? So you will come into the picture. So in order to implement any D365 projects, right? So we need to have a proper guidance. You should be ready to give a guidance to the customer, and what you need to understand their existing ERP, like what all modules they are using, what are their best practices they are using, what kind of reports they are using, and what is the main motto of migrating from existing ERP to Dynamics 365. If you understand the pain points, and if the before you understand the pain points, first we need to understand the business process of their existing ERP. What is their end-to-end workflow? How is it happening, like in accounts payable, in accounts receivable, fixed assets, general ledger, cash and bank management? As a you should understand, you list. So anyway, we will be discussing in depth in the implementation project, like the overview of the how does the implementation projects works and what all documentation that we need to carry out, right? You will be playing a very critical role in implementing any of the Dynamics 365 projects. So for that, it is always suggested to have an expertise, or if you, it is always suggested to specialize yourself in any of the specified areas. When it comes to the finance and accounting, we have list of the modules that you need to focus on, right? So all those modules, the functionalities, because in each and in general ledger itself, let's say there are around 100 features are there, but it is not necessary that customer is going to use all these features, right? So based on your knowledge in Dynamics 365, you need to understand their existing requirement. Accordingly, we are going to help the customer. And as we were discussing, right? So this is one of the major reason why there is a demand in the D365 professionals. Most of the as they also, because along with the functional consultants, they also need a developers. They also need a administrators, right? So system administrators, those who mostly focuses on the licenses part, security roles. All these are there is a, because a single functional consultant cannot handle all these things, right? So they need to have a different the roles, depending on the role, depending on the size of the organization, the demand for all these roles are actually increasing. And these are the most commonly used the terms that you can you see it here as a ERP consultant in Dynamics 365. So here we have a two different types of consultants, that is IT consultant and that's a and functional consultant. So functional consultant and technical consultant, and business analyst, solution architect, technical developer, and system administration. So business analyst, this is like the D365 F&O finance and technical consultants. They'll be mostly focused on the implementation part. That when it comes to implementation, like setting setups, configurations, and all. But when it comes to the business analyst, right? So they are going to assess the requirements initially before they get into the project, right? So they'll be mostly engaged in understanding the customer existing ERP and what all pain points, and the signing of the projects, and what is the requirement, and the preparation initial preparations of the like statement of work, or if there are any other legal documents. All these activities will be taken care by the business analyst. And solution architect, like over the period of time, once you start as a career as a consultant and as a business analyst, right? So you will understand, you will become an expert in all the modules. Like you will get to know the in and out of the functions and the features in each and every module, right? Then you will be considered as a solution architect. So definitely it will take some time, because being a solution architect, you should be able to deliver the requirements of the customers in all modules, most commonly used modules, like Again, you'll not be restricted. Being a solution architect, you'll not be restricted only to limited areas like finance, supply chain management, HR. Like we have manufacturing, production, all these activities, all these modules, right? You should be able to understand. Kind of a techno functional you will become. So you should be able to understand the technical challenges as well as the functional challenges as well. But we will be focusing mostly on the Dynamics 365 finance and operations functional consultant role as a part of the training. And eligibility, yes, this is the most important. Most of them are definitely from the. It is not necessary that you should be from the finance background. To be par with any of the commerce graduates. Initially, we are going to cover the basics of accounts, especially for the non-commerce background. And if you are coming from the BTech, definitely we initial few classes will be completely focused on the account, the basics of accounts. Once you are once you thoroughly practice those, then you'll be par with the rest of them as well. Yeah. And yeah, when it comes to the job opportunities for freshers or experiences, right? So there are many opportunities. Like eligibility will be like any the fresher. Like, see, even for the freshers also there are a lot of opportunities where they hire you to as a business analyst. Initially, they'll try to make you understand the in how to prepare the documentations and how to engage with the customer in understanding their existing ERPs, and slowly they'll train you how to configure or how to set up all this the Dynamics 365 finance and operations modules wise. So we are going to cover the role. I mean, we are going to cover all these topics as a part of training. And if you are an experienced candidate who has been already working, maybe last 3 years or 4 years or 5 years in any different field, right? And if you want to switch your career from non-IT to IT as an or as an end user to as a consultant, so we are going to cover from the scratch. So depending on your experience, you can choose, like whether you wanted to become a technical consultant or the functional consultant. So when it comes to the functional consultant, right? So it is completely no coding. There is no coding involved here, and the technical knowledge is not required. You can start from the scratch. So we are going to help you teach you the real time scenarios, and we'll give you the sample in implementation projects. Like I also will try to share a few videos how to interact with the customers and how do you engage with them in preparation of documents. What all best practices that you should make sure while practicing, preparing these documents, and existing, how to stay updated. So that is most important, and because over the period of time, a lot of features will be releasing. So continuously learning or continuously exploring all the latest features that will ensure that you'll be able to answer the customer queries. Yeah. So yeah, as we were discussing as a part of this training, uh, the support projects as well. So if you're working for a support project, definitely you should be able to assist the customers by understanding the technical difficulties while doing their daily activities. How are you going to help them? So all these topics will be covered as a part of the training. Yeah. So I believe most of the topics or most of the points that you are looking as a career guidance or the growth, right? So these topics are mostly covered, and the most important thing is like you need to if you want to settle down, or if you want to see down the line 5 years or 10 years down the line as a ERP consultant. Definitely, it is going to help you out if you have all the skill set that is required, and it is necessary that you should have a certifications. So we will help you with all the certifications, what all that is required for the Microsoft, and accordingly you'll be hired as a D365 consultant for finance and operations. And we also yes, in case if you need any assistance or if you want to know more details about the training, and you can reach out to the contact number given here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more such videos. The overview of the ERP, and then we'll proceed to the what is Dynamics 365, and the course objectives, the training, job opportunities, all those topics will be covered. So we'll start with the ERP. So ERP, the full form of ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. So if you take example of any manufacturing company or production company, right? So they'll be having multiple departments internally, like accounts payable, accounts receivable, gender ledger team, HR team, supply chain management, sales and marketing. A lot of teams will be there, right? So rather than using multiple softwares for to do their daily activities, it is always suggested to have one single software which can integrate the activities from the multiple departments. So that we'll call it as an ERP. So in market there are many such ERPs are there. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 is also one of the popular ERP which is developed by the Microsoft. And the main purpose of having an ERP is to integrate all the business processes that are happening across the within your business or the manufacturing company or production company, or if it is a service based, even in service based companies also, if it is a software companies, they do also have multiple departments, right? Like vendors, customers, lot of details will be there. They need to maintain all the details, the data of each and every the transactions. So it is always essential to have a ERP to run your business. And if you take it as a typical example of any business model, right? So it will have it will involve, these are the modules that you can see. Finance team will be there, purchasing, manufacturing, inventory management, customer engagement team will be there. So once apart from the sales and marketing team, a dedicated CRM team will be there who take care of the customer related issues, right? That will call it as a customer relationship management or customer engagement. Right now, we'll call it as a customer engagement. And along with that, now e-commerce is also one of the most commonly used. Almost each and every company, they have a website and they can order, you can place an orders from their website directly. Even if it is not, they don't focus on website, but still e-commerce is a kind of a add-on to their existing business. If it is into any product based, physical goods based like manufacturing or production or anything, and service related, if they are into, if you take an example of any installation services companies will be there where their focus or their most of the activities will be involved on installations like service based. And project management, accounting, costing related, HR department will be there. So these are the most commonly used department, or most commonly departments which are available, which will be a part of any organization. And along with that, analytics and reporting is also essential for the stakeholders to see the reports and to take a call, to take basically to make a decision making. So reports and analytics are most important. So an ERP should cover, or a ERP should support all such modules or all such functionalities which are required for the management or the department wise as well. Right. So these are the topics, these are the modules that will be a part of the ERP. Apart from that, as and when there is a requirement from the customers, right? So an ERP should support for any such expansion as well to add a new modules, and they'll keep on adding the lot of latest features in any of the ERP. So if you take a typical organization with multiple departments, so you might have seen, if you're already working, or right, you can see the finance team will be there, HR team, inventory team, production, manufacturing. So finance module, they handle all the financial transactions, accounting related, preparation of financial reports, monthly, yearly, right? And HR team, they take care of the salary payments and employee related information. And if there are any other like their skill set, learning and development, and onboarding, offboarding, lot of activities they do take care, right? So they, and inventory management. If you take an example of Amazon, Flipkart, they mostly focus on the warehouse supply chain management, right? So because they need to have a proper software to maintain the data of their inventory, and it is necessary for them to have a track on each and every inventory, so that they can plan their purchases, sales whenever there is a sale, right? So they need to have enough stock to meet the requirements of the customers for to dispatch or to confirm the sales orders and all. So a lot of such activities are involved as a part of inventory management. All are interdependent, right? This and production manufacturing company. So they need to have they need to have a data to plan their production for the next couple of weeks. What is the quantity they need to manufacture, and what is the stock they need to maintain, and how many resources they need to allocate. maybe if they have 100 employees, is it necessary for them to use all the 100 employees to meet the requirements of the production, or all such details, that those things happen in the production and manufacturing modules. So these are few typical activities that happens in any of the company, if it depends on if it is a service based or if it is a manufacturing or production companies, right? So when there are multiple departments are involved, at the end of the day, a business runs on the customer information, the customer, the transactions only, right? So it is always necessary to have a single click data, or like you should have an easy access to the data, so that you can easily help the customer to deliver their goods or to meet the requirements, or to supply or anything. At the end of the day, you need to have a you understand the demand from the customers, whether you are able to deliver their expected requirement or not. So all such the information whatever that you are looking, right, so that is available with the help of if you have a real time updates. Because if the information from between departments are not connected, or if it is not easily accessible, so how will you identify? It is practically not possible. So that is why ERP integrates all such departments information. And obviously it is mandatory that you should have a real time insights. So real time insights is like, whenever there is a dispatch to the sales or to the customer's place, immediately the other teams also should get an update that this is something which is already orders placed or anything. In simple example, if you place order in online Amazon or any Flipkart, you will keep on getting the messages, right? The product has been dispatched, the product has been out for delivery, the attempted delivery, it is not yet delivered. All these are will called as a real time insights. You need to have an update. So ERP should support all such real-time insights. That is with the help of, nowadays they have already integrated. They started using AI and machine learning also to get to improve all such, how to trigger all such notifications, everything. And definitely this will having an access to the real-time insights or updates will help you to take a quick decisions about your business as well. And a lot of automated activities or automation also is required, because most of the repeated task or the commonly used functionalities, you can make it automation. So these are the few uh, topics that you should remember, or these are the functionalities I can say, so that you should remember whenever you are using the ERP. So typically if you take an example of any company, right, so you'll be able to visualize all such departments will be working, and how it is important to have such multiple departments, the information whatever that you're going to share, right. It is necessary that other departments also should know, even though they are not working. See, purchase department, they will plan their purchases based on the information that they receive from the internal departments, and sales and marketing team according to their the requirements of the say, whether they had to run the ads or marketing, any stalls they need to run, offers, all this information that they can plan only if they have an information, right, whether you have enough stock or not. So without having enough stock they cannot do all such things. So all these are integrated. So in market there are many such ERPs are there, as I mentioned. Microsoft Dynamics 365, SAP, Oracle. So these are few most commonly used, and Microsoft Dynamics 365 is completely developed by the Microsoft. So yeah, in the coming in the coming slide, we will discuss about the other topics, like if you want to get into an ERP side, what all career opportunities will be there, and what all skills that you need to acquire and all. So far, did you get an idea what is the ERP is all about?
Yes, Srinivas.
All right. So now let's others. Can you please confirm, Gautami? Are you able to understand what is ERP? And
Yes, sir. This is very useful. All right.
Gautami? All right. So if you have any doubts, you can pass me there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm good with.
All right. So now let's get into the other what is Dynamics 365 and how does it looks, everything that we will also just go through that. All right. So can you see my screen now? All right. Yeah. So Microsoft Dynamics, as we were discussing, right? So Microsoft Dynamics 365 is also one of the ERP, and the difference or how it is different from other ERPs is it is completely cloud based. So the two different types of softwares will be there. One is on-premise software and one is cloud-based. So cloud-based is something which you can access anywhere with just a login credentials like Gmail, Facebook, we have an access, right? And on-premise software has to be installed. If any organization wants to use an ERP, they have to install the software and only with the dedicated servers which are available, they should be able to use it. But D36 in short going forward will be using that word as a D365. So D365 is completely cloud based, where users can access from anywhere, basically to encourage or it is flexible to use, like remote workspaces or hybrid workspaces, right? So this, as we were discussing this nowadays, most of the companies are there. They wanted to have a cloud based softwares or ERPs. It is not required for them to install, so that it is not that much user friendly. So now most of the companies they have already upgraded to the cloud based. And these are the previous versions of Microsoft Dynamics 365. So currently whatever we are using, that is D365. So earlier these were the names. Initially it was by the Danish software company, that was known as an acceptor. Later a lot of changes they have added and Microsoft has acquired. So you can see these are the versions like 1.5, 2.0, 3.0. In 2006 June they have changed the name. Microsoft has changed the name to AX 4.50, and later you can these are the names: AX 2008, 2012, R2, R3. Now from 2017 and 2018 they have completely renamed it as a Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And previous versions you might hear, in case if you get into the project, right? So you might hear the previous versions names as well, because most of the customers they wanted to migrate from previous versions to latest versions. Yeah. And Microsoft Dynamics 365 can be easily integrated with the Power Platform tools, because Power Platform is also their homegrown app, right? So Power BI, Power App, Power Flow, Power Automate. So these are again extended functionalities that can be used in any ERP. Like Power BI is used for reporting purpose, and Power Automate, Power App, these are used to create a workflows or any other activities which can be automated, like vendor invoice automation. And there are few other activities which are mostly used by this Power Platform. So Dynamics supports all such Power Platform tools, and it can be easily integrated with the third-party tools as well. So let's say if customer is using Salesforce for CRM, so that can be easy integrated with D365 with the help of connectors. So how does this connector works is again with the help of Power Platform. And this is the overview of the ecosystem that Microsoft has created. And if you observe here, from here, sales, marketing, customer service, customer voice, field service, insights, these are again mostly related to customer engagement. These are interconnected with the customer engagement. So this project operations is used by both finance as well as customer engagement. And there's a separate team. I mean, within finance and operations itself, even supply chain management and HR are covered. And Business Central, this is used for the mid-size organizations. D365 finance and operations, that is used for the enterprise organizations or the large enterprise, large organizations. And commerce, that that is used for the brick and mortar stores, will the physical stores will be there, right? So for those stores this commerce is used. And the project operations, as we this is again used by the both finance and as well as customer engagement. Fraud protection is also one of the module that they have introduced. And apart from this, they have introduced a lot of new modules as well, and they'll keep on introducing based on the changes that are happening across the industry. So these are few modules, like as we were discussing. Business Central is used for the mid-size organizations, and next is the commerce module that is again used for the uh, like the physical stores, like those who runs on the like Reliance retail, they have a physical stores, right? So they use this commerce module. And customer engagement, that is completely for the sales and marketing and any other customer engagement related activities. So within finance and operations, in the coming slide we will be discussing the modules that are covered. So HR is also part of the finance and operations, and even see within finance and operations, you can see HR, sales and marketing, supply chain management. But the difference between finance and operations, supply chain management, HR is there is a thin line between. See, if the business is completely focused on like warehouse management related, like Amazon, Flipkart, any e-commerce based, right? Most of their activities will involve in both. Like they need to have accounts payable teams, receivable team, vendor management team, and apart from that, warehouse management, advanced warehouses, packing, pickings, transport, logistics, a lot of other teams are there, right? So these will be part of the supply chain management team, like procurement and sourcing, like inventory management, and any other master planning. All such departments will be part of the supply chain management. And in finance and operations, here most of them will be the most of the modules that are completely focused on the financial that are connected with the finance activities. So which starts with the general ledger, cash and bank management, accounts payable, accounts receivable, tax, budgeting, fixed assets, project management, accounting, subscription billing. So general ledger is for the to record the day-to-day transactions and to prepare the financial reports. Cash and bank management is used to manage the bank accounts that you have and the transactions that you're going to post in your bank accounts. Accounts payable also or will also called as a procurement to payment. So accounts payable, accounts receivable, these are connected for both supply chain management as well as finance and operations. Finance and tax module, if you have whatever the business that you're doing, right, you will have to pay some tax to the government. So how will you pay that? You're going to You need to have a proper records, the tax related records. All such details will be covered in the tax module. And budgeting is used to allocate the resources or to allocate the budget for your future business. Fixed assets is used to record the transactions or to manage your fixed assets like machinery, furniture, vehicles, right? These details are added in the fixed assets module. And project management accounting, that is used to record the transactions to based on the projects wise. If you take an example of any real estate, they might be having multiple construction projects, right? So they need to allocate the resources, expenses, project wise. They cannot club everything. If there are 2 3 buildings, the expenses and income that are related to specific building, they have to consider it as a project. So if the business is into such project based, then they use this project management accounting to bill the resources. And subscription billing module, this is again used by the companies whose business runs on the subscriptions. Like you have this Amazon, Flipkart, so not Amazon, Netflix, all these are based on the subscriptions, right? Every month you need to pay certain amount, and you'll have to show them as an expense or income in your business. So all such extra modules that, all those topics will be covered in subscription billing module. Yeah. So these are the modules that you're going to cover in the finance and operations module. And so any ERP, right? So if customer wanted to implement Dynamics 365 in their software, or if they wanted to migrate Dynamics 365 from their previous versions, or currently they might be using SAP or any other Oracle or any other ERP, and if they want to migrate to Dynamics 365, so they'll be approaching a companies like any implementation partners. So implementation partners, they will hire a team that is functional as well as technical consultants. So technical consultants, they'll be mostly focused on the development part and any deploying related activities which are mostly into coding or any other activities which might require SQL or X++ language. But apart from that, they also need to have a functional consultant. The role of a functional consultant is to ensure that the features which are already there in the standard format, standard, right? So they should be able to explain the customer how to use that one. How is that possible? Again, is the way with the help of, you need to have a thorough understanding about the modules that you're going to handle. So that we will anyway, I'll just take you a walkthrough about the demo in the next couple of minutes. So here, as a functional consultant, your role will be limited, or your role will be limited only with the non-coding related, where you will understand the customer requirement, whether what all modules they need to have. You'll prepare a document. We'll start analyzing what all features they are going to use and whether they are available or not. Implementation, testing, and you will have to test each and every functionality. So once you start testing each and every functionality, then only you can. So there is a process that we'll have to follow, that we'll call it as an implementation methodology. So you will be a part of any working with the customer that is related to im- uh, preparation of documents like functional requirement document, functional design document, solution design document, with all the functional aspects, how to create if it is an example, if you take typical example, how to create a purchase order, the steps that are required to create a purchase order, to create a sales orders. So all those steps that you're going to prepare a documentations, you will help the customer in testing, identifying the requirements, all such activities you're going to do that. And these are the project types that you can expect, like support. Maybe support is again for the existing customers. Let's say few customers are already using Dynamics 365 from last 3 years or 5 years. So they might raise the tickets whenever they come across any challenges, right? So if you're a part of the support project, then you will have to explain them, and you need to understand their challenges or the difficulties, why they're not able to perform. We'll do the troubleshooting steps and you'll help the customer by giving the solution. Implementation is completely from the scratch. Let's say they wanted to implement a Dynamics 365 from, or they wanted to migrate from any other software, so that you're going to implement it from the scratch. Upgradation project also you might get. Upgrading project is like, as in the initial the second slide we have seen, right? There are a lot of previous versions like AX12, R3. So they need to upgrade mandatory from previous versions to latest, because the user interface and the feel and touch of the latest version is completely changed, and it is going to support a lot of security related. In terms of security aspects also, they have enabled a lot of features. So Microsoft has almost made it as a mandatory, we can say, to upgrade from previous versions to latest versions. So even in that case also, it is kind of a complete implementation from scratch, because they need to flush out the data from their previous versions to latest version by testing functionalities. A lot of activities are there, right? So when they roll out to the latest versions, and testing is a part of implementation or upgradation, where you'll prepare the test cases, test scenarios, and if you there we you will come across, these are the environment types that you're going to use. That is UAT, sandbox, dev, production. So UAT is a user acceptance testing, and sandbox. These two are the testing environments. So these are used whenever during this implementation, upgradation, or testing process. So to prepare the test cases, and we need to test each and every functionality. So that you're going to do with the help of UAT and sandbox. And development environment, that is again used by the technical team to prepare the test. So to for any out of the box functionalities or any customizations and any other technical related testing, if they wanted to do that, they'll use the development. Once all these things, once you done with the UAT, sandbox, development, and if there are no issues, then once we get a sign off from the customer, you will go ahead with the production. So typically this is how, these are the environments that you're going to use. And as we discussed, there are a lot of activities that you will have to involve, and as a part of implementation project. Yeah. So far, do you have any doubts? And did you understand what is your role? What kind of job that you can expect?
Srinivas, yeah, like it's a kind of business analyst kind of role, right? Is it similar to BA? Like we need to take the requirements from the
Functional.
customers and we need to analyze them.
Correct. So it is, you can either call it as a business analyst or functional consultant.
Mhm.
Uh, like there are different names that you call it as. But
Okay, okay.
here we are not going to involve the coding related, only functional aspects. So now I'll just take you a walkthrough about the tool, so you'll get to know how does a tool looks like.
Okay, sure. One
Uh,
question. Yeah, go ahead,
differences,
Gautam.
SCM and FNO.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
SCM, supply chain management, and FNO. What is the
Uh-huh.
difference?
Yeah, so finance and operations that completely focus on the finance aspects, and supply chain management that will focus on the warehouse related activities, and transport logistics. So these are the setups that you need to configure in as a part of supply chain management. So now I'm going to show you the demo to so that all your doubts will be cleared here.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So can you see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the home page of the Dynamics 365, and this is how it looks like. So here you can see these are the workspaces that which are already available. On the left side, you can see these are the list of the modules: accounts payable, receivable, asset management, and system administration, time attendance, project management, procurement and sourcing, production control, retail and commerce, right? And these are the list of the workspaces. You can see whatever you can see. These are the workspaces you can see as as a list. And the difference between finance and operations, as we were discussing, finance, see, the tool is same for both supply chain management, transport, logistics, production, manufacturing. The tool will remain same. But within finance and operations, if you divide only the finance related modules, you can see it starts with the general ledger, followed by accounts payable, receivable, cash and bank management, consolidation, the basics of inventory management, and the tax module. And the supply chain management modules will be, it involves vendor collaboration, warehouse management, transportation, and sales and marketing, product information management, procurement and sourcing. So if I elaborate, let me just click on any of this general ledger. So here you can see these are the functionalities which are available within general ledger module. So there are a lot of features are available, but it is not necessary that every customer will be using all the functionalities, right? So we will be covering most commonly used features and how to use that one and how to help the customer in using that. So your role as a functional consultant, let's say if you want to, you're familiar with the purchase orders and sales orders, right? If you want to purchase any if any product, let's say 10 quantity or 20 quantity of laptop, if you visit any store, they'll create a purchase order like with the sample quotations. So being a functional consultant, you should know how to use all such functionalities, how to create a purchase order, what is the finance impact. All such demonstration we'll have to do it to the customer. So if they wanted to implement Dynamics 365, depends on the size of the product. It takes maybe 6 months or 1 year to complete the project or to go live. So initially we will start preparing the functional requirement documents. We will start identifying their existing requirements. and then we will also take them a walk through. Say this is how it looks like. There you can see the list of all vendors, all such demonstration that we'll have to do, and we'll need to make them understand these are the features which are already there, because they might have done their the basic research. That is why they have decided to migrate from the other ERPs to Dynamics 365. But we have to explain them in a detailed way. How does that makes difference from other ERPs, or these are the latest features that are available. And once if you start, the implementation process, as we discussed, most commonly used functionalities that you will have to explain them. We'll be preparing a documentations for each and every requirement, how the steps that you'll have to that you're going to have it right to create a purchase order. What is the first step, second step, what is the impact, the finance impact, how does it affect the financial reports, all such explanations or all such activities that you will be part of that one. And supply chain management will not involve any such accounting or finance related activities. They will be mostly focusing on the setups configurations that are related for the supply chain, the warehouse related activities, sales and marketing that you can see. So we as a finance consultant will be focusing on the finance parts, and we'll be covering all these modules. And most of you are not from the commerce background. So initially we will be covering the basics of accounts. And once you are able to understand the basics of accounts and rest of the you will be able to understand how does the finance impacts everything. Yeah. So these are the topics that we are going to cover. And yeah, modules also have seen. I'll quickly show you the syllabus that we are going to cover. Yeah. So this is a course content. So basics of accounts will be covering. That is for the non-commerce, and maybe like 4 to 5 classes. That is enough. Once you are able to understand the basics of accounts, and you will be par with the rest of them as well. And these are the topics that we are going to cover as a part of implementation. The real time, sorry, how to create the legal entity, the general ledger, currency, how does it works, and main accounts, financial related topics. These are, and followed by cash and bank management, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed assets, acquisition of fixed assets, budgeting, and the basics of inventory management and product information management, workspaces, and how to configure, how to integrate Power BI integration with financial reports. And Copilot is again the latest feature which is Microsoft has recently launched. It is kind of a chat GPT. They have developed their own AI tool that is a Copilot, which helps in automating or which helps customers in uh, doing their daily activities in a quicker way. That's different. Yeah. And as a part of this course, right? So the main agenda is to not only cover the theoretical part. So as a part of this one, we'll be covering the real-time scenarios because that is most important. Uh, we'll be giving you an assignments where you can start preparing those. You can start, providing the solutions. So like the real-time support tickets or issues will be I'll be sharing with you, and you can start finding the solutions for that, so that you will get an hands-on experience and what all activities that happens in the implementation activities, and how do you want to stay updated, how will you stay updated with the latest features. That is also most important. Every day the new topics, uh, uh, the features that Microsoft keep on adding, right? You need to stay updated. So all such the guidance on the latest updates, features, how to uh, follow them, and with the help of the mock interviews also will be conducting once the training is completed. And once you have it a hands-on experience, then you can start getting into the process. So these are the topics, like once the training is completed, you'll be able to understand how to prepare the documentations. That is the most important. like FRD, FDD, solution design document. We will in depth, we will discuss one in the coming session, that is about the implementation methodology. Yeah, and the module specific training, which we have already seen, the topics that the syllabus, whatever that we have seen, and configurations, data migration, right? So that is also important. So most of the companies, they migrate the data. They wanted to migrate because they from their previous versions or from other ERPs to latest, the Dynamics 365. How does that happens? And the business process, workflows, security, the basics of again security roles, UAT, and how does these are a part of the implementation project itself. Intercompany master data. Yeah. So yeah, this is about, and the duration of the course will be around at least 3 months, 80 to 90 hours it will take, daily 1 hour, because every Saturday we will be discussing about the real-time scenarios, and we'll be having a kind of a doubts clearing session where you can practice from Monday to Friday, whatever the topics that we have discussed, and Saturday kind of a revision, as well as the support tickets, real-time implementations, all such topics will be covered. So this is about the course content and the job opportunities that you might get if you are into the Dynamics 365. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me.